While idols must always appear as perfect as possible, thanks to the carefully chosen outfits or elaborate designs, there are still times their stylist miserably failed their one and only job, just for the thought that the visuals of idols would save whatever they throw on them. As a result, these following idols became the miserable victims of that thought. Number 1. Red Velvet. Almost like a tradition of Red Velvet's courties, they had to make the girls look questionable at least once in every era. And at this point, certainly both fans and netizens are no longer surprised, because they have seen multiple times how the stunningly beautiful visual of the girls still couldn't even save the look. The latest appearance of Red Velvet at Alabang Festival in Indonesia is also no exception, because as netizens said, while they were extremely thrilled to see the girls perform live for the very first time since the pandemic hit, they were also extremely disappointed to see the outfits Red Velvet Stylist threw on them. Apparently, they didn't look as terrible as the furry, eye-itching costumes of the Zimzalabim era, but still, it's hard to deny how the courties made them look like they had just jumped onto the time machine and traveled here from 2000. Probably out of the effort to catch up with the very Perry purple trend of 2022, and the wish to add in something new, with the refreshing yellow of summer, the courties had come up with the idea for Red Velvet's outfits that day. However, netizens said they failed miserably, because these two colors looked totally irrelevant to each other, and combining them with the forms of the girls' outfits, the big picture looked even worse, as they totally failed to complement the body shapes of each member. For example, though there were countless times fans complained about how Red Velvet Stylist couldn't choose the suitable outfits for Yeri, which ended up getting her embroiled in lots of criticism for not looking good enough as an idol of SM entertainment, nothing was improved this time, since despite her narrow hips and broad shoulders, they still dressed her in mid-waisted jeans, and probably the most tawdry crop top on earth. What's even more depressing about her outfit was that Yeri was not only made to wear the most annoying fit in terms of colors, but also the most boring costume in terms of forms and styles. While other members were all dressed in something extra enough for the limelight, only Yeri was made to wear the basic combo, crop top and blue jeans, making her look like she's about to go grocery shopping at the market, rather than going on stage and performing. The costumes of Joy and Wendy were less annoying than Yeri's, but that didn't necessarily mean that they were good enough to justify the visuals of the girls, as, according to fans, their costumes both looked unbearably peasant, outdated, and cheap. Based on the way the fabric moved when the girls danced, some even claimed their dresses were for sure bought in a flea market at the last minute, as they were too thin and the patterns were too rustic. It was even more depressing for fans when they found out that there was one yellow dress back in 2000 that looked literally the same as Joy's dress, further confirming how questionable and outdated the fashion taste of Red Velvet Stylist was. Maybe out of the effort to make Solgi the center, the courties decided to dress her only in purple, aka the trendiest color of 2022. But netizens just found this decision hilarious because she totally looked irrelevant to the group. Plus, the way the ruffles on her top moved also ticked people off, as they only made her dance messy, rather than adding some flattering and glorious effects to the choreography. Still, the most disappointing outfit, according to netizens, was that of Irene, because despite being extremely familiar with many of the sophisticated and well-tailored outfits, they just couldn't swallow the fact that she was dressed like a kid performing at her kindergarten. Some said that when zooming into the fits, they were even more triggered because when looking from afar, they found her yellow head bow pop up in a ridiculous way. And in close distance, the combo of a cheap lace crop jacket, a Bowie crop top that was on trend way back in 2021, a childish colorful skirt, and a big irrelevant belt had truly made their eyes soar. Basically, while people all admitted Red Velvet slayed the stage, with their impeccable aura, groovy dances, and the powerhouse vocal, their outfits were a mere disaster. Number 2. Kepler. A little bit more fortunate than Red Velvet, not all members of Kepler have to suffer from the questionable fashion sense of their stylist. But overall, netizens still couldn't wrap their heads around the way the girls were dressed for their very first appearance on Vogue in June. Of course, it's still hard to deny the courties did a fairly good job when styling Yuchin, Hikaru, and Daeyeon. But besides them, people couldn't comprehend a single thing from the others' outfits, and the way they are presented as a group. This was seen most clearly in the group photo, where all Kepler's members were outfitted in costumes having a heavy vibe of the 2000s era. As they pointed out, the 2000s styling is always a hard theme, because modern elements are always required to be here and there to ensure the look has a new factor to the retro vibe, making the costumes nostalgic enough but not too dated. However, based on the way each member's outfit strongly clashed with one another, people believed Kepler's stylists were just trying too hard to produce something out of their hand, while their capabilities were rather limited. That inevitably led to the result that most of the girls looked super peasant, and especially for Bahia, Though she was only 17 years old here, most people would look at her and think that she was some 30-year-old lady, suddenly forced to stand in the same photo with Kepler's members. Or worse, an ill-Victorian boy. Her eye makeup was so terrible that she looked as if she were suffering from countless sleepless nights, waiting to be on the magazine of Vogue. And while all other members were dressed in neutral colors, she was made to be the only one that wore country red checkerboard shirt dress, the item that was widely chosen by old Western ladies, and the pattern that was often seen on cowboy shirts. That was not to mention how the makeup of other members was also done in a dated and amateur way, because their smoky eyes looked more like being beaten, and their contouring makes them look haggard, as if they had been starved for a week. As if that wasn't bad enough, the Courties even made Chaehyun wear a full orange silk pajama to appear on a fashion magazine, as if the set was something stylish. And the most ridiculous thing was how, when Taeyeon was put in the center of this kinda high fashion photo, the outfit she was dressed in was a wool tank top with a huge strawberry right in the middle. In short, Kepler's photoshoot for Vogue this time was considered a joke, and received tons of heavy criticism. Most people claim that the stylists are doing their job in a sloppy and careless way, and asked Swing Entertainment not to let this ever happen again. Number 3. Le Sserafim Sakura. It isn't an exaggeration at all to say that Le Sserafim is the most scandalous girl group of K-pop so far, because ever since their debut, had the group not been caught in copyright and bully scandals in the early stage, they would still have gotten embroiled in a huge criticism where the members were said to be sexualized heavily, through the way they, and especially Sakura, were dressed. While the photo teaser of Le Sserafim received a ton of praise for emitting a strong, dreamy, and fairy tale mermaid vibe, fans were triggered right off the bat to see Sakura wear literally no safety garments underneath her paper-thin skirt. Of course, her outfit looked good, and completely suitable with the mermaid theme, but it was still unacceptable for the Courties to make her wear a literal bikini top, a nude undergarment just to cover what should have been covered, and a completely see-through skirt. Considering how Le Sserafim was being caught up in a huge controversy, where people said the group was built for a juicy and was set to sell sensual fantasies, K-netizens expressed even more disappointment when seeing Sakura in an outfit like that. However, there are many fans who believe that Sakura's outfit isn't that sensual or extra, because first, it fits the mermaid concept, and second, Sakura is over 18 years old, so it's not a big deal if she wears something seductive, and people should stop caring too much about how a girl dresses. Anyway, some also think the staff should have helped Sakura cover up with a towel during the interview. So, do you think the stylists actually did these groups dirty? Or were they simply trying their best to bring out a newer side of the girls? Comment down below to share your thoughts with us. Also, remember to like, share, and subscribe to BeBoss TV for more interesting K-pop content. Thank you for watching.